you're cold. You're covered in feathers. Are you stupid or something? Well, no. Everyone's talking about how cold it is outside. It's not cold. What? We have feathers. We're not cold. What are you eating? Sardines. Sardines? Why are you eating sardines? Well, Tree gave me some sardines to eat this morning. They taste pretty good. Everyone else is eating them, aren't you? Because, I don't know. I'll give them a try. What's that sprinkled all over? I don't know. It tastes like cracked eggshell. Really? Sardines? Well, let's ask Tree about it. Hey, what are we doing this morning? Where are we at? Ooh, it's nice and cool out this morning. Yes, it is. Where are these stupid pictures at? Let me get rid of that. Good morning. How you doing this morning? Yep. Hey, Bailey, how you doing? My co-host over there. Yeah, she's sound asleep in her chair, of course. Hello, Bailey. How you doing this morning, huh? Yeah? She's over there sound asleep in her chair. Hey, Bailey, you gonna say anything? Say hello, Bailey. Hello. Here we go. There she is with her headphones on, ready to talk up a storm. Right, Bailey? No, I took that picture a couple weeks ago. No, like last week. Oh, she's a good girl. Let's see if I can get some pictures of some chickens up here. Oh, man, another camera here. There we go. Had a camera there. They are in the chicken tunnels. There they are. So, I need to move my camera around a little bit. But, yep, there they are out in the chicken tunnels enjoying this wonderful sun. Ooh, yeah. Beautiful mornings has been here in southeast Texas. I'm in the hot area of Hockley between Tomball and Waller, Texas. And I'm drinking myself a hot cup of coffee, as I always do. Drinking the Bailey's Brew, medium roast coffee. Working on a big order coffee right now. Headed to Anderson, Texas. That's right, Anderson, Texas is the home of Circle Star Firearms. And Anderson itself, there it is right there. That's one of their labels right there. Best little gun store blend. Yeah, there we go. They're going to be selling a coffee underneath their own name. Some man a little backwards in the photo right now. But yeah, that's it right there. Neat little gun shop over there in Anderson. A couple weekends ago, I was in Navasota at the Martha's Bloomers. And I was telling everyone that they're going to be selling a coffee at that gun shop. And everyone that shops at Martha's Bloomers shops at Circle Star Firearms in Anderson, Texas. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. So I finally have my place situated the way I want it. I finally do. I started out with my first coop. It's a big coop, too. It holds easily 40 chickens, easily. It's got chicken tunnels attached to it and everything. And I think at one time I had at the most maybe 25 birds in it, but it can hold a lot more. It's got a big egg laying nest on the back. It's got 7 egg laying nests on the back and only like 3 or 4 used. And then I built a brooder and I looked at buying brooders, and those ones you can stack up at Tractor Supply, and I'm like, they're all plastic, So I ended up building that one right there in the picture. And it's got a little barricade, little center wall I can take out or move around and fill it up with pine shavings. And I can, separate the birds. You got ventilation holes on both sides. But like this time of year, I'm going to cover up the ventilation holes. And then I'll cover up half of it with an old quilt or something like that and have a heat lamp on the other side. But that's what I'm going to be using. But right now, I've got chicks in my spare bathroom underneath the heat lamp and a tub with food and water and everything. And they're growing up quickly. Looks like I got a Barred Rock and 2 New Hampshires. I was hoping they were new. I hope they were Rhode Island Reds, but they're New Hampshires. What the heck? And then I got 2 Barred Rock chicks, and so they're growing up quickly. And in the incubator, I got another dozen eggs, and the dozen are in there are all Barred Rocks and Rhode Island Reds, no New Hampshires. Just because I got all my birds separated now. Hallelujah. Woo. So as I grew last year, building up the place, I would build a new coop, constantly building coops. Like the second coop I built was this one right here. And that one for a long time housed my Easter eggers and olive eggers. And then I discovered that a lot of my barred rocks I got came from a hatchery that gave me a bunch of mixed breeds, and all my barred rocks were laying green eggs. So I had to separate those from my other barred rocks because I want to raise barred rock chickens. I don't want to have a bunch of green egg layers. So I moved the Easter eggers and olive eggers out of here, and I moved them into the new coop, which is this right here on the left side. So there's two coops in one. The left side houses all the Easter eggers and olive eggers, and all those barred rock chickens that lay green eggs. They're all going in there. That can easily hold, golly, have the way I've set up and everything. I could probably put, here's the inside of it. I could easily put 20 birds in there if I wanted to, maybe even more. And that's going to have chicken tunnels onto it as well eventually. But I have two egg laying nests side by side. So I have birds on both sides. So this coop, I call it number 2, now houses the leghorns. Speaking of leghorns, take off my stupid chicken hat. And I'm going to put on my Midway Meat Market hat. Midway Meat Market in Katy, Texas. I sell my coffee there too. I was over there this week dropping off coffee, and I got over to their grill. And I got myself a brisket Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Ooh, that was good. That was real good. Yeah, it was good. I need to say I only ate half of the bread because it's just too much bread for me. I kind of watch how much bread intake I have. I'm just not a big bread eater anymore. I ate the insides, but it was good with the peppers and the onions and the cheese and the brisket. That was different. That was really good though. But Midway Meat Market has a grill inside that sells barbecue, delicious hamburgers, delicious barbecue, the brisket Philly cheesesteak, And they even serve breakfast on weekends. Well, just down the road from the meat market, they also own Midway Barbecue, which is a restaurant. So if you want to go down there with your family and sit down, have a nice meal, you can do so as well. But they have seating and so forth in the restaurant inside the meat market as well, where they sell their sausage and all that. And they still do deer processing, and they do make great sausage. Mr. Meyer, Herman Meyer, he's actually in his late 80s, and he's hunting mule deer right now. I just saw a picture of him. He shot a beautiful mule deer. He's a big-time hunter. Oh, yeah, great man. I've known him for years, and I used to sit and just talk with him about his hunting trips, and they awesome man to just sit and listen to. But, yep, Mr. Meyer, congratulations on that mule deer. Yes, yes, yes. Wish I could have done it myself. But all this moving around of birds is going to give me the freedom to breed them better. So this is my coop out in the front pasture where they free range, and I move the poultry netting around so they can eat green grass. Well, I've been pulling birds out of there every night when they're sleeping and taking them into coop number 4, which is this one, which is their new home because they lay green eggs. I don't want any green egg layers out here, So I keep them moving around. Yeah. Yep. But sad note this week. Let me find a picture of her. Oh man. So a lot of y'all know about Brittany, my ugly chicken. Let me find her picture here so I can bring her up here. When she first grew up, we didn't know what she was, growing up. We didn't even know it was a hen or rooster. It was the weirdest bird. I bought her as a Wyandotte, and she wasn't a Wyandotte, that's for sure. And as she grew up, we were continually watching her. Oh, there's a picture of her right there. There she is right there, the ugliest chicken. She had a big old, looks like a toupee on her head. And as she got older, she got a beard like a olive egger would or an Easter egger would. But she's a very colorful bird, very tall bird, really tall and skinny. And I thought she was a rooster at first, and then as she got bigger, she ended up being a hen. But I called her Brittany. And the past 3 weeks, she's been flying the coop, flying up on top of the coop, flying over the coop, and just wander around free ranging outside the netting. And, I chase her, put her back in, and, it's just a constant fight. She wants to get out. She lays gray eggs. She's not a true bird I want to have. I don't want to breed her. I don't want to sell her offspring because she's a barnyard mix. Um, but she kept flying out, and 4 days ago she flew out. She flew onto my coop number one. She was on the roof of coop number one. And then she flew over to coop number two, or no, coop number four. She's flying around on top of that. And then she went over to coop number two, and she was over there messing with the leghorns. And that's the last time I saw her. And I looked all over the place. I found no feathers anywhere. Either she flew off somewhere and couldn't figure out how to get home, or something picked her up and took off, Yeah, it's sad, but, it's like, really no loss to me. I mean, she laid gray eggs. I'm not a gray egg layer person. I'm not going to breed those chickens, but, I'm sad that she's gone, because we had a lot of fun with her and everything, and I had a contest with her, and if your chicken was uglier than her, and made a lot of fun of her, but she was an interesting bird. She was actually turned into a pretty bird. She really did, but oh well. One less mouth to feed. She only produced like one egg a week, so wasn't the type of chicken I wanted in my flock, but oh well. Goodbye, Brittany. Thanks for having me around, and thanks for the entertainment and so forth. Sorry you're gone, but hey, it happens. Life goes on. So let's talk about this. Winterizing your chickens. I see people left and right all over social media freaking out over their chickens and wanting to winterize their coops. Well, we're in Texas. The low today was 38. The high today is 80 something. So if you cover up your coops with a bunch of plastic right now, and you your chickens are going to get kind of hot kind of quick. I wouldn't be messing with it in Southeast Texas, especially. We don't need it. Now, I will tell you this. I did do this. My coops are very well ventilated. They got hardware mesh on both sides. But if you notice how dark it is inside that coop I'm showing right now in the picture, the reason it's dark is because I laid a blanket on the north side of the coop to block the north wind, to have a little bit more comfort. But all those leghorns, and they get up on that top perch, and they're warm as toast. I reached in there and I grabbed one the other night just to see if they're warm, and the chicken was warm as toast. I mean, I was like, oh man, you feel good, so warm, And then I did that in my coop number 3. I reached into there and I grabbed a chicken out of there at midnight, and actually taking her out of the one coop and putting her into another coop. So as I'm moving her, and I picked her up. She's warm as toast. These chickens are so warm, it's unbelievable. They're covered in feathers. We don't need tons of covering on them right now. Don't. There's no reason to. You're in Texas. Now, if your ground is covered in snow and there's ice all over the roads and everything, and the temperatures are below 30 degrees, yeah, I'd be covering up my coop, but you're in Texas. You don't need to. And then people were like, oh, should I put a heat lamp in my coop? Should I put a heat lamp? Oh, no, don't put a heat lamp in your coop. Because you'll end up with that. You don't need that. It happens. Mm-hmm. So if you notice in that picture, there's all these coops on fire. Here's some that burned down. You see all the snow around them. Yeah, those chickens are probably cold with all the snow. But they thought, well, we'll make it easy on ourselves and we'll just throw a heat lamp in there and the chickens will be fine. Well, guess what? Those heat lamps have those clamps on there that clamp on the 2x4 or clamp on a piece of wood or something like that. Well, let's say you let your dogs out one night before you go to bed and you turn on a light, and that light lights up the coop and it startles all your chickens because all of a sudden, bam, there's a light on the side of the coop, and the chickens fly up in the air. They hit the lamp, knock the lamp off the 2x4 because it's only on there with a little clamp that doesn't hold on that well in the first place, and then it falls down in your pine shavings. Well, the chicken gets back on the perch, no big deal, it's sitting back on the perch. You let your dog back in the house, you go back in the house. Next thing you know, the neighbors are calling you and said, hey, your chicken coop's on fire. And you're like, how the heck did that happen? The heat lamp was clamped to the 2x4, and well, just little things can happen. Just you turning on the light, startling your chicken, or let's say a coon or a fox or something like that goes up next to the coop and startles them, and tries to get in, scares them. They fly up and once again hit it. Or maybe a predator gets inside the coop and knocks the lamp down. Things like that can happen. Those things are so unsafe. Yeah, they got a little guard on the bottom of it, to keep it from bumping into something and everything, but they're very unsafe lights. I mean, I'm not gonna have one inside my coop. I'm not gonna have any heat lamps in my coop. If the temperatures go down below 30 degrees, I'll cover them up. I have bought plastic to use in case I need to, but I'm not covering up unless we've got temperatures below 30. Say below, if temperatures reach below 35, I'll cover them up, but I'm not going to cover them. No, they're covered in feathers. When I used to be a big time duck and goose hunter, big time, and we would be out in weather that was below freezing, and we'd have icicles hanging off our caps. People with beards would be frozen. I used to have my lab, Barney, my yellow lab, and he had this foam vest on. It was camouflage. And the reason he wore it was to protect him against rice stalks, because the rice stalk can actually stick into your dog's body. I've seen it happen to a guy's dog. But it also protects them from the extra cold because they're in the water and everything. Well, I'd reach down there and I'd put my hand underneath that vest and warm up my hands because my dog was warm as toast, even sitting in ice cold water, And you'd be out there hunting in this freezing cold weather, and a duck would fly over, and you shoot the duck, and you pick the duck up, and the thing's up burning up hot, with covered in feathers. They're flying around, and it's even colder up above than it is down below by us, with that cold wind blowing. And they're flying around in these, 30-degree temperatures and everything, and 20-degree temperatures. They're warm as toast because they're covered in feathers, I'm not worried about my chickens. I think they thrive in this cold weather. I think they do better in the cold weather than the heat. They seem to love it. I mean, they absolutely love it, So any changes your chickens occur, like those of the weather, food, moving them around, everything affects them sometimes. In fact, I was worried about moving my chickens and stressing them out. So what I did was I wait till they go to sleep at night, pick them up, and then move them. They're trying to move them with the net and everything and stretching them out. And by doing so, I haven't had a loss of eggs. I mean, they're still pumping out eggs just as quickly as could be in these new coops. Now, I did find two eggs on the ground yesterday, but they'll get used to it and they'll start laying in the egg laying nest. I know they will. It doesn't take long. But yeah, they're doing good. And like I said, I'm not worried about the cold weather at all. Probably not until January, if anything. But yep. Things are moving right along out here. So when after I built that brooder, I was talking about the brooder earlier, and of course I got off topic. The brooder I have is a 4x4, 4 feet by 4 feet by 2 feet tall. It's got two double doors on top of it, and of course here's a picture of it again for you to see. And it's got a little wall that separates it in the middle that's removable. I can take this wall out so I can separate the chickens and everything by age or by breed. It's well ventilated and so forth. And then I can cover it up and so forth during the winter months as well. But I actually use a heat lamp on top of it that's suspended by a chain that goes down to the top where the hardware mesh is. And then it's tied in 4 directions so the heat lamp stays in one position and doesn't move. So there's no chance of it going over the wood or touching any pine shavings. It's going to stay in that one position. And it's going to heat up everything directly underneath it and off to the sides a little bit. I had one of those heat plates in there last year, and I noticed that chicks that got pushed out from underneath it, and I'm not talking about 3 days old or a week old. I'm talking about 2 or 3 week old chicks would get pushed out from underneath that heating plate, and they died because of the cold, because they weren't underneath that heating plate. But with a heat lamp, if you step out from away from the direct heat, there's still some out to the sides, you know? And the way I had it set up, that it's not really that cold if you go out too far to get away from the heat. You're always going to have enough to survive. Those heat plates inside there, you know, I'm iffy about them. I won't use them, you know. You know. Now I could see using one in a coop. Put one in a coop, put up on the side, if you want to add heat to your coop, because it's very safe. Because you could lay it right on top of pine shavings. It's not going to catch on fire, but it's going to produce some heat, you know, and it'll help knock down the edge maybe of that coldness, you know. But if you use one up on the side that way, I could see doing that. That would be good, you know. But no heat lamps inside my coops. No, not in Texas. Heats up too much during the day. Yep. So the brooder, back to the brooder. Like I said, I've got chicks inside my tub, and inside the spare bathroom, and I got chicks in the incubator. So in 21 days, I'm going to pull those new chicks out and put them in the tub. But the chicks that are in the tub now are going outside to the brooder, and I'm going to put up the wall, fresh shavings, heat lamp, food and water, and they'll have tons of room to roam. And then the next bunch will go into the bucket, and they'll stay there until the next bunch hatches. Because I'm going to do 4 or 5 hatchings of eggs until I get some in from Cackle Hatchery. You know, I'm going to keep producing some of my own, and so I'm going to have those going into the bucket, and then the ones that are in the bucket, when the next batch will go out, and they'll go into the other side of the brooder where they're separated by a wall. Because just a few weeks in difference in age, I've noticed that the bigger ones will attack the smaller ones and kill them. I've seen it happen. They'll stomp them dead, you know. So I keep them separated. And so then those move out. Eventually those will end up getting pushed out of the brooder. And when they do, by the time they get pushed out, they'll be 6 to 8 weeks old. They'll have tons of feathers on them, and they'll go into a coop with the other birds. And they'll go into the process of introducing them to their new coop. But I can easily do that now that I got them all separated. I got room to put birds into the coops and everything, stuff like that. So the process would be a lot easier now. Earlier in the podcast, I mentioned sardines. A wise old woman once told me, if your chickens aren't laying eggs, give them some sardines. That's right. I said sardines. Sardines in fresh water. That's what you want to use. Wild caught sardines in water. Chicken of the sea. So I actually put those in a little dish. I sprinkled some crushed eggshell on top, give them that extra calcium. But she said, give them sardines and they'll help them. I don't know, for some reason, it helps them start laying eggs for some reason. And I did it with my olive eggers and Easter eggers, and it worked. And I did it with my Rhode Island Reds, and it worked. So I don't know what it is with sardines, but if your chickens aren't laying eggs, try giving them a can of sardines. I mean, they eat meat too, and this is meat. And it's funny. This morning I'm out there, and I lay the dish in the coop, and here they are. So there's the Leghorns and my one Delaware, and it's checking it out in the dish. They're like, what is that? You know, hey, what's this? You know, and then they go up to it a little bit closer and. Oh, wrong picture. What happened to my pet? I had them in order. And of course, now they're no longer in order. And then they are all bunched up around there pigging out, you know. But, oh yeah, they loved them. They all jumped on it and they started eating those things up. Now that dish is clean. They loved them. So maybe they'll get them going. These Leghorns are well old enough to have eggs, but they're not. So the Leghorns were originally moved in with the Rhode Island Reds and New Hampshires in the same coop. And you can tell that the Leghorns were really affected by it. They were stressed out over being in there, you know, because they're not a big bird. They're half the size of your normal chicken. And that rooster, I call him Foggy, you know, Foghorn Leghorn. So I call him Foggy. Old Foggy was quite intimidated. And he wouldn't crow at all. Not at all. He was afraid to, I think. He was afraid of those other roosters. And now that I moved him out into this new coop, oh man, it's hilarious. They're loving this new coop. They have tons of room for themselves because they're not that big of birds, and they're absolutely loving this coop because it's their own coop. No other birds but them. Eventually, I'll have more leghorns with them, but I might add 3 more leghorn hens. I'd like to get 3 more in there, but that would be it. That would be the limited amount of birds I want to have in there. That would fill up that perch that's in there. But they're loving it. Well, Foggy is crowing now. He sounds hilarious, but he's crowing. You can tell now that he's in his own little coop. He's crowing. It's made a difference in him. So I'm thinking I should see some eggs soon. I wouldn't be surprised to see him sometime this weekend or next week because they really are a lot more comfortable in this coop. They're not being attacked by Rhode Island Reds or New Hampshires because all the chickens seem to pick on those white birds big time. So they're constantly afraid of being in that coop with them. So I'm glad to have them separated. So that's the new white coop. That's the white only coop because it's for white eggs only. Yeah. Oh, actually, I take that back. There's a Delaware in there. The reason I have her in there is because when I bought the Leghorns originally, Delaware chick is the same color as a Leghorn, yellow. And she got mixed in somehow, and I got her, and she grew up and started getting white, white feathers, and then she got some black dots. I'm like, what is this? I looked it up, and sure enough, it's a Delaware. And Delaware lays brown eggs, so whatever, She grew up with them, so I left her in there, and they're all white, And a white chicken stands out like a sore thumb when they're free ranging, so I just leave them in there. And every 3 days, I move this coop over green grass. And you see the green grass around it or weeds and so forth. So I move it over and they'll pick it for 3 days and I'll move it again. And their poop lays on the ground and I'll water the ground and everything and keep that rotation going to grass. So by the time they get back to the spot, they'll have fresh grass again. So I'll move it probably about a dozen times. I'll be able to move it. And by the time they get to the last position, the first position should have grass again and I can move right back again. So they'll have plenty of grass to eat. And they got the egg layer feed and they got their scratch and so forth. So they're doing good. So that's what we're working on. So if you're in Southeast Texas and you're worried about this cold weather, don't. The experts are saying, those people that know a lot more than me, they're not doing it. They're not covering up their coops. They're not winterizing their coops. They're not adding heating lamps to their coops because we're in Southeast Texas. Most of my listeners are in Southeast Texas, but if you're outside of Southeast Texas, maybe up in North Texas, and where it does get snow, yeah, when your temperatures hit that 35 degrees, you might think about winterizing your coops. I'm going to use the PVC plastic shower curtains with the magnets on the bottom. And they've got the little grommets on the top. I'm going to hang them from the top, let them hang down, and the magnets will hold, stick to the hardware mesh since it's metal. And that'll be good. Well, I'm using the PVC because it's a thicker plastic. And they're about $9 a piece on Amazon. So I think that's a great idea. That's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use those to cover up the runs. And then the coops that have the side ventilation like this, I might add some wood to them on the sides that I can remove easily with some screws come springtime. But I am going to leave the top open. I'm going to leave a gap open at the top about like that of just hardware mesh because you got to have that ventilation during the winter months because I don't know who told me. I think Howard Davenport told me that, your chickens, if they're completely covered up inside the coop, they can get moisture on their combs. And when they do, that moisture can freeze. And next thing you know, you've got chickens with, frostbite on their combs. And that's not a good thing. And yeah, I think Howard told me that, Howard Davenport. Moving the camera in a little bit around the chicken tunnels. You can see him getting in there. So, hey, little baby. Hey, Miss Bailey, you getting up? Yeah, Bailey's getting up. She's ready to come over here to see her daddy. You coming up here to see me? All right, come on. Come see me. Come on. Yep, say hello to everyone. There she is. And we get rid of this picture here. Come on, get up here. Come on, get up here. Come on, up. Come on. Get up. Bailey, up. listen to you. See, there she is right there. So we got some news about Bailey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bailey's graduating from school this Saturday. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure she is. We took this public access test last month. They don't tell you until the next class. The next class is this Saturday. But I've been told I have to be there. So that kind of tells me an idea that, yeah, she's passing the public access test. And she's going to get her service dog tabs and be a actual service dog, you know. So after class on Saturday, we'll probably go over to her favorite restaurant, which is Ron's Hamburger and Chili in Tomball. And she gets to munch on a few French fries when we go there. It's a great little restaurant and service dog friendly, pet friendly, actually, indoor restaurant. Delicious chili. Their burgers aren't real thick, but they're real thin. They got the burnt, crispy edges on them. They're good, but I'll probably go there and get a big old bowl of their chili with cheese and onions. Good stuff. Ron's Hamburger and Chili in Tomball, Texas. No, they don't sell my coffee. They don't. But it's just good food, good people. I like going there. Yeah, that's what we'll be Saturday after class. Yeah. Oh, that'll be so neat, you know. So she's going to go in there and they're going to tear off her train tabs and put on service dog tabs. And that'll be so neat to see. So I'll videotape it, that happening, and I'll share it on the video, on the content here on the podcast channel. So I'm working on I do leather work, and a friend of mine told me, a mentor of YouTube said, do not venture off into other things on your YouTube channel. The podcast is about chickens. It's not about leather. It's not about knives. It's not about hunting. It's not about anything else. It's just about chickens. So don't change up things and add that to your podcast. You know, it's just you want to have it just about chickens, and that's it. So I said, okay, I'll do that. You know, but I have a new channel called Lonesome Tree Designs, which is my maker's mark I did for leatherwork for years, and I'll be starting that up soon. I'm going to start doing my leatherwork on there. Oh, by the way, do you need a Christmas gift for someone? We spend about $25 per person. That seems to be a good average, $25 per person. I said, well, you know, for $25, I have a minimum of four bags of coffee you can buy, and you get your own custom labels made. I mean, here's one I made up, just, you know, Merry Christmas from our family to yours. You know, this is a Millionaire blend. Just put a picture on there. I'll be using this as Christmas gifts for people. And for certain people, I'll be giving out bags of coffee as Christmas gifts. Well, you can too. Just $25 a bag, 4-bag minimum. You send me a picture of your dog, your family, whatever you want, any kind of logo you want on there, if you want it for your business, whatever. The more bags you buy, the cheaper it is. But great Christmas gifts. I have another company that does it, and they're actually out of Washington, D.C., and it's actually a politically related business. They help out with, I don't know, what do you call it? I hate politics. Campaigning. They help out with campaigns. That's their business. So they sent out all my coffee to all their customers last year. And I asked them, I said, you know, you want to have some custom labeling done with your logo on there? I said, no, we'll just use yours. And because of that, I got a lot of return business from across the country from them, you know, but it helped me out a lot of times. I'm really appreciative of that. But, you know, I have like a machine shop in Houston, Texas. I do custom leather bags custom labels for them. And like I'm doing for Anderson, Texas, they're going to be regular carriers of it and everything. But, I mean, if you want Christmas gifts, I can do whatever you want on those bags. You know, I can put, like, here's a woman I know, she sells custom candy, and she's got these sugar gliders as pets and her sugar mama candy. So I made up that to show her that what could be done for her candy labels. And she's all excited. So she's going to get some of those. But that's, you know, little things like that could be done, you know. I mean, this is a blend of coffee, actually. This is named after a buddy of mine, Marty Parker. That's Marty's Mountain. It's about him and his, you know, serving the Army and so forth. But I mean, I can put anything on a label. If you want to have Christmas gifts and give out coffee, yeah, give me a holler. We'll get you set up. 4-bag minimum, $25 a bag for 4 bags. The next breakdown will be like a dozen bags, or no, 6 bags, and then a dozen bags, and then like 24 bags. So the more you buy, the cheaper it is. And I'm not going to charge an art fee. No, just $25 a bag for the first 4 bags. So there's 4 Christmas gifts right there from your family. Merry Christmas for the Miller family, and have a picture of your family on the front. Great Christmas gift. Real easy, real simple. And you can pick it up from me in Hockley, or I can ship it to you for a fee. You have to pay shipping. But yes, that's what we're doing. Oh, well, have a great weekend. We are headed to class on Saturday for Bailey's graduation. The following weekend, we'll be back in Navasota at the Navasota Public Library, set up selling eggs and coffee. And that's about it. Then the following weekend is, I don't know, I have to look. But I got a lot of markets this time of year. Veterans Day, I normally do something regarding veterans, but I'm not. I'm just going to do the Navasota Public Library event. I got invited to an event in Houston, but if you live out in the country and you have to drive to Houston, it better be for a good reason, because I'm not interested in driving to Houston at all. I got people inviting me to go out to eat with them in Houston. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'll pass. It's just, I don't want to drive to Houston. The people driving on the highway and the freeway, they're crazy. Everyone's got to be first. Everyone's, racing on the freeways. It's just crazy. And people running red lights. Oh my God. I can't believe the people all running red lights. They don't stop for red light. I mean, they'll slow down, but they'll just blow right through like nothing. But I have to say, that did happen on 2920 the other day. The guy passed me up on a double stripes, and he passed me up, wondering, he got to the light, blew the light. He was in a hurry for some reason. But man, in Houston, it's a nonstop happening around there. It just, I can't handle Houston anymore. So, oh well. Oh man, I got a lot to do. I gotta get going. Have a great day. Bye bye.